Beautiful human. I've been asked a lot about my minimalist content flow and how I get anything between $100 to $1,000 a day organically, with more recently now about 10% uh, on ad spend. I just spend about $10 a day, but the rest is organic with my LinkedIn audience and so on and so forth. So I've been experimenting with my students using Instagram a lot because they're like, it's not fair that you have 50,000 followers on LinkedIn to try to teach and basically walk the talk from somebody who's just getting started with a smaller audience as well there, and use it as an exercise to have fun. So today I'm going to break down everything. You get the resources down below to anything I say. There's no holding back. This is an exercise to help you monetize your audience, use writing to build leverage, and hopefully learn a thing or two. So before we get started, let me just show you here. This is the doc we're going to go through, but basically this is live from my Instagram right now, where yesterday I was being a dad and my baby daughter was having fun and whatnot. But because of this little system in my content strategy, I get to have, write little emails about dumb goats, get transactions come through. And then you can see here with the ad spend, I literally do what I say, like $2 of ad spend. I spend $5 on this one, right? And you turn $9 transactions into $257 transactions by offering little micro snacks, right? Macro snacks being PDFs, little GPTs that do stuff. They could be resources, ebooks, templates, Loom videos, right? Everything you're giving away for free, you can put like a $5 to $9 price tag on it, right? And then you just boost some ads. And then you can see here, this was by the evening, 8 hours ago today, 29th of January. So this is this morning, basically. Those 9s becoming 58s with the upsell, buying, the other upsells, and then ascending into higher ticket. So it's not rocket science, and I've always been really bullish on that. You can also see here in real time. So just made a sale 3 minutes ago for 9, you see, and then there's 257, there's 58, so on and so forth. These are just my Thrivecart notifications, which is the system that I use in order to make this happen. So you'll see, we'll be referring to this post that I just put out there in a moment, and you'll see how all of this comes together. So far so good, right? We've got our examples, we've got everything up and running. So what I will do here is also live workshop this together with you. So the principles of it are going to be, we're going to run some campaigns, or we're going to think about campaigns that we run. Then we're going to get ideas, and then we're going to write posts and emails. Cool. So on that note, what I'm going to do is share the document. You can follow through by clicking on it down below, and we'll walk through what I've planned for you and hopefully have some fun. So I'm going to break this down. I spend about 2 hours a week in total on my content. Now, a little TLDR, I've been writing a lot. I have an email marketing background. I've been on LinkedIn, like I've been doing it for close to a decade, but it is a muscle you can train. And I'm just saying it, so some people may do this faster than 2 hours, but logically speaking, it might take 4 to 8 hours until you start jabbing at this properly and then getting better. So I do 1 hour batching 7 emails using a very, very simple structure called story, lesson, pivot, offer, which I'll get into in a moment. And then I do 1 hour of writing 7 LinkedIn posts, but I only write 4 new ones every week, right? 3 of them are repurposed from other winners, and 2 are show posts, which I'll talk about in a second, which basically demonstrate what I do. And the other 2 are share posts, which are just about my life. So people buy at the intersection of who you are and what you do. So I also then boost 2 high-performing posts on Instagram with $5 a day, and I haven't turned them off in like 3 months. They just get sales, and that's it. So number 1 is email. I spend an hour writing 7 emails and scheduling them every week. I don't use AI. If I did, it would take me probably like 15 minutes, but it just sucks the joy and the enjoyment out of it for me personally. Those emails have brought me well over 1.5 million for my business. Now you can batch write them like I do, or spend 10 minutes a day to do them on the day. That depends on who you are and how you want to do it. I just find batching to be really efficient. And that depends on how you prefer to create. I'm a dad to my beautiful daughter, and I work 3 days a week. So having these little systems and flows really, really helps. So this is how it goes every week. I ask myself, what campaign am I actually running this week? And I either sell these things I call small snacks or big snacks, and they do exactly what they say they do. There's 4 weeks in a month. I usually rotate between products or workshops. Those are the small snacks. Anything between $1 to $250, for example, could be considered a small snack. And a big snack is like one-on-one group coaching done for you, anything of that sort that you can imagine, let's say. So that's that. And what I'm going to show you is just, I'm not going to be pedantic about it. I just see what's going on in my life, how much capacity I have, and what I want to sell that week. I grab a highlighter and I literally color code it here in my little red diary. So I'm going to switch the screen so you can see. It is literally this little pocket diary that I use all the time to highlight. So I'm never sort of scrambling to know, what am I selling? What am I not? I already know, because I've put it in there, what it is I'm going to sell for this month. And I color code it. There's a screenshot today. I still haven't worked out how to do this focus thing. So there it is. So if I'm at capacity, I sell more products or group coaching. If I'm hungry for more, then I sell more one-on-ones. And I embrace the season that I'm in and think of that on a monthly basis. So I know if I want to be a full-time dad and I have this amount of clients I can take, what my capacity is, and it's predefined, and I'm not like gonna be a revenue maxing bro and do all of that stuff, right? So you can see here, this was in January where I did a 6-week plan internally. That's nothing to do with this, but the campaign was a workshop in green, then it was my group coaching in orange, and then it's one-to-one mentorship. Those are the campaigns. So workshop is low ticket, Modern Maker, my group, is sort of mid to high ticket, and then one-on-one is high ticket. What actually happened, because humans, we're in the process of moving house right now, I'm not going to do the one-on-one mentorship because it's sold out. So then I switched to selling a digital product, and we're going to do exactly the campaign together. So that's just me being real over here, so you can see that that's what it is. So if I just workshop this with you for a moment, here, if you just grab a piece of paper and write the 4 weeks of the month, what we want to do is literally go, okay, what am I going to sell each week of the month? So I've already told you mine, but if I was doing it again, I would say I'm going to do my workshop, and that's going to be around $50. Then I'm going to do Modern Maker, which is going to be, upwards of $250 per week. Let's say. Then I'm going to do my AI tool. I'm actually selling one, which I'll show you examples of and throw it down below over here. So I'm going to go AI tool, and that is $9. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do on week 4, but it sounds like, let's say this week, because I can't do my one-on-ones, they've been fully booked, I might then just do AI tool again for $9. But ideally, what you want to do is have a rotation of low ticket and high ticket, not to sort of like bug your email list or your audience too much so they hear the same thing. So one thing that I usually like to do is sort of have like start off with high ticket, then do 2 weeks of low ticket, and then come back to high ticket. I'm just being very real with my life in this exact moment. So that's the reason why you're seeing something different. So hopefully that resonates. If not, you can also ask down below and we'll go over that. So high ticket, low ticket, low ticket, high ticket. Define what your campaign is, right? So now that we've got that sorted, let's go back to our document. You then ask yourself, what ideas do I have, right? I keep one-liner notes in my notepad about things that happen in my day-to-day, business, life in general. I pick them out and write using a simple structure called story, lesson, pivot, offer. I've also left a Substack article here that you can click on that goes into detail on how story, lesson, pivot, offer works. But in general, you pick out a 5-second moment. I went to the supermarket. That's a 5-second moment, right? I cleaned the floor. It's another 5-second moment. I did a offer call with a client. Right? Not a summary, but a little visual that you can basically doodle. If you can't doodle it, it's not a 5-second moment. Then you pick out a lesson from the thing that happened, and you pivot, create a little bow tie into your offer. So it should be very, very simple, right? Like, I went to the supermarket. It was really, really crowded. I had to be really patient as I waited in the queue. So patience is something that maybe in business I've also seen and had to teach myself how to do. I'm hosting a workshop and it has a lot to do with procrastination and patience and this and that, whatever. Here's a link down below. There's the offer. So I've just literally created that for you on the spot. So this is an excerpt of my Google Keep in December, but I do this every week and I write little stories. I'm like, my aunt thought I was a drug dealer. I tested some ads. I like the person I'm becoming. Reflections from serving 250 clients. Lentils, AirPods, mega rants, and wacky shiz go viral on LinkedIn. Something I noticed. My one-to-one client had a 150K Black Friday campaign. So on and so forth. It doesn't matter. It could be like in January, I went to the dentist, or I walked the dog and something happened. Those one-liners have a location, they have a character, they have an incident, and I unpack that without any crazy format, right? I just make an offer at the end. The offer usually has some natural urgency. If it's a workshop, it has a deadline, right? If it's a door that's opening and closing, I'm just honest about it. So I like to cap my spots because it gives people a reason to act now and also keeps my calendar free to abide by my 3-day workday rules, right? Every Wednesday and Friday, I am by choice a full-time dad as my wife also owns a business. So we've planned life around the baby. So I do some async work throughout the day, but most of the time, unless the baby's asleep, I'm with her and I absolutely love it. And it took a mindset switch for me to get there. So this by default has brought me more demand than I can handle because of supply and demand economics. There's only one of me and there's 6 spots and there's 6,000 people on the email list, right? You can see what happens there. The moment there's 100 people requesting something that only 4 to 8 spots can be filled, the psychology behind the transaction changes. So I encourage people to actually design their business by true scarcity and true urgency, right? That's just the outcome of it, though, and it's not why I lead with capacity. It's just a life-first decision, and we are reaping the rewards of that. So I know I've gone a little bit off tangent, but it makes sense in the way you plan your emails. So what we've covered so far is how do we write emails? We define the campaign, we map out our ideas, and then we use story, lesson, pivot, offer. Let's go into workshop mode. So this week, I'm going to literally talk about real-time events. One of the things that happened yesterday on Wednesday is I was being a full-time dad and I had a 5K day with some low ticket and high ticket, right? That's something very honest, very true. I had a client sell out cohort with some emails that they wrote with me. So that was amazing. I also did a workshop where I taught people how to build their own GPTs. inside Modern Maker. And we've been planning all things February inside Modern Maker. We're also moving houses. So can you see how this is just like me writing one-liners as ideas? So now, if I know we are in the last week of February, well, my plan says I'm selling an AI tool. So if I story, lesson, pivot, offer this, yesterday I was a full-time dad. That's the story. On the couch, playing guitar with my child. She's lovely. She started singing. We had a lot of fun in that process. That's the story. And I didn't feel guilty because I set up some systems that basically turn leads to customers, to clients without me having to be there. So the lesson here is the systems allow me to work 3 days a week. And those systems stemmed from me doing so-and-so and whatever. So if I want to pivot this, one of the latest systems that I've built is called the game plan tool. It maps out your game plan. It shows you how to launch low to high ticket offers. And it is a bit of AI that you can just plug into your business. It's literally $9. Grab the link down below. Now, I thought I'd change it up a little bit and show you because we've written the emails, the posts are even simpler because I pick 7 posts every week to write on LinkedIn, and usually 3 of them are repurposed. So I technically only write 4 posts. Now, my posts are 80% show posts. So I've got this little doodle over here. Show posts are you demonstrating exactly what you're doing, right? So I would just look into my calendar like the examples that we phrased and ask myself, what is it that I did this week that I can talk about very openly in my post just to demonstrate? So show posts can tackle problems, proof, philosophy, or give people plans, right? And to me, I'll just do it intuitively, but by speaking to an event that happened, like for example, this week I helped people inside Modern Maker build a GPT of their own to give their clients more value in their coaching and consulting containers. So that by nature is me talking to a problem, right? I can say something along the lines of I noticed people don't watch videos anymore. They want to interact with stuff. So last week I got on a workshop and showed my modern makers how we create GPTs. And we did this, and this step, right? On the other side, we've got share posts. And what I'm doing with these share posts is being myself, sharing my values, my hobbies, my opinions, my interests. And it's at that intersection where I show my true colors. That's where people bond with who I am, right? I talk about music, about my love for running, about my cats and dogs and things. And that's basically some of the easiest posts that I've written were literally I ran a marathon last week, pictures, or I spent time with my wife and my daughter, or, I played. Literally me picking up the guitar and playing, that just shows who I am. And that's the reason why I call them share posts, because they can't be cloned. You're sharing something from your actual experience. So if I want to show something that has a little bit of repurposing, what I've done here is I'll go to my analytics on LinkedIn and take the 3 best performers over the last 90 days, right? Or any platform that you're on, it gives you analytics. Even YouTube here every week gives me your best performing videos or shorts. So if they're over 2 months old and they're in writing, I just copy paste them back in, change the hook a little bit, right? Sometimes I might change the image on the bottom, or turn the text into a carousel or a carousel into text. If they're less than a month old, then I take the premise or the theme of the post and I just redo it from a different angle. So, for example, in my world, a lot of people come to me for low ticket offers, right? They're I talk about small snacks and big snacks all the time. So that topic has done really well. So what I'll do, I'll just repeat it. For example, I might have a post that said how I set up a low ticket funnel. Then the next week, I'm going to talk about what emails exist in the low ticket funnel. I might say what products I've created in my funnel. What's my upsell? What's my order bump? What makes a small snack and a big snack a big snack? What are some results that people in my world got by installing this micro snack cartel, the low ticket funnel? How do you actually find a good snack to put on the front end? So you see now I've just given you like maybe 6 or 7 hooks about the thing that I'm hearing people come to me for. And then by default, people start talking to me about snacks. They're like, Jacob, I also have a snack. Or they come into my inbox and they say stuff like, I didn't know I could monetize this for free. So one person today came into my inbox and literally said, I've been ditching your advice for too long and now it's 8 a.m. There's snow outdoors. I'm not taking a morning scroll, but completely reimagining my lead magnets. Why do you have to do this to me? And I just respond with a smiley and a little note. But that's exactly what happens. So the reason why in my world, words like the micro snack cartel, power writing, modern maker, proximity offers have become alive is because I've dialed them as ideas, right? So what I would do is literally go back to my LinkedIn, find the 3 best performers over the last 90 days, change the hook or, rejig it a little bit, and then write 2 share posts and 2 show posts. The share posts are my opinions, my hobbies. Like last week, I was moaning about trying to get off of Go High Level and them literally chasing me and not allowing me to unsubscribe. And that was an opinion, right? I'm like, I'm going to share my experience. This sucks. Or me sharing the marathon or playing music yesterday with my daughter, as I showed you at the beginning of this video. That is literally a share post. And then the show posts are you looking at your calendar and asking yourself, can I literally grab something from here and show the world how good I am at doing that thing? The easiest type of hook that I've found to work best for me in a show post is literally yesterday last week last month, last quarter, today, tomorrow I will, next week I will, because then you're just showing them. And then I list out 3 bullet points, yesterday I helped my modern makers build out a custom GPT, and then 3 bullet points. We found an idea, we outlined the process, we quality assurance tested it. So those are my 3 bullet points. And then I would grab that and expand on each bullet point. How do you grab an idea? How do you create a process? How do you quality assurance test? In that case, I actually got someone live to test the bot and we went back and forth until we got it to do whatever was intended. But just that, right? That's a show post and people are like, how do I build a GPT? How do I do this? How do I do that? Because you're just showing with no call to action. So in the example we have in the document, my one-liner was literally a client did 30K on Black Friday. So that was my one-liner from my notes. Then the 3 bullet points were, we packaged this Black Friday bundle offer and sales page. We wrote story-driven emails with urgency, and we added an upsell halfway through to increase the average order value. And you'll find this in the document. So I would then expand. Let's say we packaged this Black Friday bundle and sales page. What did I literally do? Like no GPT, no AI. I'm literally like typing in my notebook, and I use an app called Whisperflow that transcribes my speech to text, and it's just amazing. So we packaged this Black Friday offer and sales page. I asked my client what he had on his Google Drive. We found some amazing PDFs that explained how to do content design that gets leads and grows your audience. We also added Figma files so people could use them from their own carousels. And we used my existing Black Friday page. So he just cloned it on a website called Thrivecart to create his simple framework. Now, you see what I've done? I've just summarized that bullet point. And all I have to do at the end of my show post, because I'm now demonstrating something. So when I wrote this post or an email, people would ask me about their Black Friday campaigns or about their GPTs in the previous example. So I've already now told you in bullet points by summarizing what happened. I literally collected something from the past. I can say, I've got a 15-minute training showing you how I write one post a day. Click visit my website and go watch it. So it doesn't sound salesy because it's demonstrative and it just paves the way for somebody else to come through, right? So because the nature of show posts means you don't even need a CTA. Like, people will just ask you, right? And we can then stitch that together, right? And in the doc, you'll see that I've left examples of how I write my show posts. I don't want to go through each one of them in this video, but you can have a look and see and make sense out of them. So the final two share posts we've also sort of gone through, but those should be the funnest for you. You're literally asking yourself what you did outside of business, right? People buy you before buying what you do. And I remember, like, last year, people bought because I was sharing my life here in Cyprus, where my wife and I went cliff jumping and, took the dogs out to the mountains when it snowed. And people are like, I want your lifestyle. I want your business. And I'm like, this is amazing, because in a sea of other people who do exactly what you do, it's those kinks that make you, right? The authentic bits. So examples are, you might be sick. You might have run a marathon. You might love watermelon like me. You might have had explosive poopies. You may have traveled. You maybe have a running joke or a parent joke, or you have an opinion about something. For me, it's usually 4 themes: running, music, family, and some witty jokes. I don't relate it to business. I don't want to be one of those like B2B SaaS bros on LinkedIn who are like, I just got married. Here's what it taught me about B2B SaaS. It's like, Jesus, brother. Like, no. So I've also left some examples there for you that are recent. One of my best performing posts was one line last year. It's like, I've just become a dad. And I was holding the baby, and so many people wished me the best, and so on and so forth. Nowadays, every Wednesdays, my posts tend to gear towards fatherhood, because that's what I'm doing on Wednesdays. So if we look at our show and our share, what we want to do is just break it down into some structure. So what I do is, like, Mondays I'll show, Tuesdays I'll show, and I'll have a call to action. Wednesdays, probably share. Thursdays I will show with a call to action. Fridays and Saturdays I will share, and Sundays I will show. So it's very, very simple. And I've noticed on LinkedIn, which is my primary platform, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best days that are busy. So those are the days that I have my call to actions to click visit my website or go to this YouTube video or whatever it is. On Instagram, I might do like a story a day with a call to action and a carousel or 2 a week with a call to action. Depends on what platform you're on. So for me, this one post a day is the fuel to the engine, right? If you don't want to write every week, you could spend $5 to $10 on ads to boost a post that already did really well. Just make sure that post has a call to action and you optimize for website clicks or funnel clicks or whatever that may be. So I hope you understood what I'm talking about, and I tried to vary it and give examples. I'd love to hear your examples. So if you can hit subscribe or drop a comment below, that would be awesome. Because for me, like, I write about an hour of emails a week and an hour of posts a week. And then I have 2 posts I run $5 a day of ads to. Another really, really simple component to consider if you are on Instagram is IG ads are just so much better than LinkedIn. I've said it. Zaki has been around for way, way longer. Their algorithms are crazy good. So I literally copy paste my LinkedIn post to Instagram with a caption or in a carousel. And I have 2 posts that did really well organically, considering I've got like 2,000 followers over there, or just over that. So I just clicked the boost button, and you'll find an example in the document of the one that I boosted. So a little bonus, the funnest part of my week is taking posts and making YouTube videos out of it. So this is an extra bit, and it's absolutely not necessary, but I have so much fun talking to you guys once a week and sharing what I know about my own journey. It's just something I've enjoyed doing over the last 2 years. Like, my sister has over 200,000 followers on YouTube, and she always inspired me. And for me, it was so difficult just to get on camera, and now I've just made it a part of my weekly plan. So you'll also see this as a post in the document, and you'll be able to make sense out of it. In fact, as I'm sat here, you can also, I'll drop down below which posts I'm talking about, so you can actually dabble in. I've just done that. Now, hopefully this was simple, and I know that was a lot to take in, but the entire system just runs on 7 emails, 1 hour batched, 3 repurposed posts, 2 show posts, and 2 share posts. So that's a little quack-a-doodle-doo. I'll leave some more videos in the doc for context if you want to dive in, but hopefully you got to see that we define a campaign by week, right? As a little summary. It's high ticket, low ticket, low ticket, high ticket. 4 weeks in a month, super easy. Then we extract ideas from our life and business, write one-liners, and then turn them into story, lesson, pivot, offer, emails or posts for LinkedIn. And then showing posts are literally you demonstrating, showing proof, problems, your philosophy about something, or your plan on how you did something with your clients or yourself. And then share posts are your values, your hobbies, your opinions, your interests, and you just being you. So thank you so much for being here, and hit subscribe. Hope to see you in the next video.